Hello and welcome to this first Q&A here. I'm really happy that you're watching. I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes talking about your questions that you submitted around how to prepare girls for puberty, how to support them through the process of the body, feelings changing. You had lots of questions, and I decided to actually include a couple of the girls' questions as well that we receive during our mentoring program, so you know what they're asking. My name is Friedel Fink. For those who haven't met me yet, I'm a girl empowerment facilitator and creative educator. I'm also a facilitator for a beautiful workshop called Celebration Day for Girls, and have been working with girls and their parents and caregivers since a while now. Really, when we're talking about empowerment, it doesn't mean that I'm or you are empowering someone as if it was an external thing. It is facilitating a process for the young person where they can tap into their own empowerment, their own self-worth, their own power, because it can only originate from the inside to the outside. I hope that makes sense. So I think that's really important to point that out, because sometimes we think we give empowerment as a gift, but actually we're just coaxing it out of the young person and support their process. So that was really important for me to share. And I want to come to the first question now. So someone was asking, 1 month, my daughter asks me, what are periods? And then she asks me 1 month later again, as if she didn't know about it, even though I'd explained it to her. Is this normal? I want to share that this happens a lot with the girls we work with and also non-binary people in our workshops, and especially if girls are younger, like let's say 7 or 8, and you give them some sort of information, they might not take it in the first time. So that for me highlights the importance of having ongoing conversation, sowing the seeds early and actually bringing it up again and again. So it's really, really, really normal that they might forget about something, that they have not taken in this huge concept of which the menstrual cycle is and periods. And it might be just something that they're also less exposed to. So especially if they're younger, maybe not many of their peers have started their periods yet. They haven't maybe seen a period, maybe in the parental home or in their environments. It is something that is more hidden, that's not being sort of openly discussed or brought up. So it's a little bit about exposure, but it's also just something that they might not have encountered. And therefore, again, it's very important to sort of bring this information in gently early, so they do feel prepared. And we do know that a lot of young people start their periods maybe already with 8. It happens as young as 7. So we want to make sure that they're prepared, that they know what's happening. I know a lot of you moms in my circles report that you didn't have the support, that you didn't even know what was happening, that caused a lot of anxiety. And statistics really reflect that 1 in 4 girls in the UK actually doesn't know what's happening when they start their periods. And therefore we just want to make sure that we gently bring this information in. And that includes the parental home, that includes schools, and I would say that also includes youth clubs and conversations with people, young people I'm in contact with on an everyday level. So you can bring that in, and it doesn't need to be sitting down with a book. I'll be talking about this probably a lot in these Q&As. So it's absolutely normal that kids ask again and again. You might have encountered that with other things they're asking about. might be about the body, might be about feelings or behavior of people. We need to offer ongoing learning opportunities. And that's an important point here, because you might have communicated this point verbally before. So a period is this and this and this, or you might have shown some pictures, but everyone is a different learner. Yeah, some of us learn visually, some learn through experience, some learn through verbal cues. So it's really finding out with the young person in your surrounding, how do they learn? How would they take in information in the best way? And then sort of, yeah, that might include trying different things. That might include showing books and pictures. It might include explaining some things, or to have a group experience, to experience of a game or something. This is a lot what we do, because we find it works really well and it meets different learning styles. So just experiment a bit. How does your child, the young person you support, learn? How can they take information in, and then offer that gradually throughout many, many years, really, because it is a process how we learn. And I think that is a really, really valuable thing to do. The next question we are looking at is posed by a mother. She says, I feel put on the spot by my child when she asks me tricky questions that I don't know the answer to. What can I do? So not sure which kind of tricky question that is. It might be around periods, about puberty changes. Maybe it's about sex, something that feels tricky to you. I really want to acknowledge that. Sometimes these questions hit with an intensity, and they hit us in a spot that we don't expect, that we maybe not even know that we carry shame about it, or self-consciousness, or an insecurity. And that's probably what you're feeling in the moment. Oh, this is a tricky question. I don't know how to answer this. Yeah, so first of all, just observing what these questions stir in us. If there is insecurity, maybe there's sadness, maybe, there can be all sorts of feelings coming up when we're hearing a question. And I think the main thing here is to observe that and to take the pressure out a little bit for you, because we can be as prepared as we are. We can have loads of knowledge and having done lots of studying about these things, having read all the parenting books, but really these questions hit us in a spot where we sometimes don't expect it. So I think the good thing is we can always slow down and take the pressure out. Maybe you could say to your daughter, oh, this is a really good question, and I will come back to you about it later. We don't always have to do things on the spot. And I think it's wonderful learning for young people to recognize our boundaries as well. We're people with boundaries. Parents are people with boundaries. Teachers are people with boundaries. And just taking the urgency out for the young person, but reassuring that we will come back to answer this question is a really, really great thing. And that gives you time as well to observe what's going on inside of you and why this is so triggering. And on the other hand side, you can do research. You can maybe consult with a friend about this tricky question. You can write me an email. It's really about, giving yourself time and taking the pressure out, and just the lessons that come from that for a young person can be really amazing. It enables patience, understanding for another person, can teach kindness in a way. So yeah, I think that is the key for me for this question. And if you're unsure how to answer the question, and maybe I encourage you to, in the next Q&A, ask a specific question. So what is this triggering or tricky question that you want guidance with? So I can give you a bit more of support in answering this question. Because for now, I feel this question is more about, how do I regulate myself when a tricky question hits me? So we are really happy to do that. So feel free in the next time around in the Q&A to ask your question, this tricky question that your girl wants some guidance with, and we'll do our best to answer this here. Next, we have a question from one of the girls in our workshops. We've got a little anonymous Q&A box, which we call the treasure chest, because all of these questions are gold and deserve to be answered. So this girl asked, why do girls grow hair around their vaginas? And it has a little heart here. So, well-meant question. I've got a little heart here for you as well, to just highlight a little bit where is what. So for those of you who own vulvas, so this is a vulva. We've got, some of you call it maybe down there. Some of you might call this a vagina. Actually, the vagina is the inside bit. We have the vaginal opening, and the place where you could say the baby comes out, or where the penis goes in and out, is the vaginal opening. The vagina is really a collapsed tube on the inside, whereas the outside is called the vulva. So we have the outer lips. Here we have the more tender inner lips. We've got the clitoris, very sensitive, and where lots of nerve endings come together. We've got the pubic hair and the pubic mound. So this is a vulva. This girl probably didn't know that, and it's very common to not know the difference. It's been misused in language a lot. So the outside is the vulva, the inside is the vagina. Okay, and she's asking, why do girls grow hair around their vaginas? And it's actually a protective mechanism. So protects us from nasty things coming to the inside, into the vagina, actually. So it's very much like nose hair. It's sort of like a filter, and it also has loads and loads of what's the word? So it has loads and loads of nerve endings as well. So it is for sensation as well, really. So the main thing is it's protective, and it also enables us to feel more, actually. So I love this question. And I just want to highlight with that next question as well. It is, what is your pregnancy hole? This is sort of related, I guess. And again, I just wanted to highlight to those of you supporting young people, just to bring that question to you in this Q&A. What language do you use around intimate areas of the body? What language do you use around genitals, reproductive organs? Just have a think about it and think, why is it actually, I get the question a lot that parents think it's too early to call them by the real names, vulva, for example. I don't think it is. I don't think we need to use cutesy names. It's obviously up to you, but just thinking, why do we actually need to use the cutesy names? We could also use something that's correct and that enables us later at the doctors to communicate correctly. Because a lot of us don't have that language. A lot of us don't know the inside is the vagina, the outside is the vulva. Okay, so it's just a pointer. I don't want to stop you using these words. I just like you to think about, why is there actually a need to do so? Okay, so again, pregnancy hole is probably something that this girl's parent used or someone in their environment. It's just an encouragement to think about it. Also, I don't know, I do think personally, if you could just call it pregnancy hole, it sort of like reduces the area to pregnancy and to having children, whereas it's about so much more. It's about whole body health. It is about pleasure. It is about so many things. It is about the menstrual cycle and the life-giving function. But yeah, there's more than one function for this than just pregnancy. So just thinking which messages come with the language that you use. This is something I'd like you to have a think about without judging the use of this word. Okay, so I do hope some of your questions got answers. I hope you got some inspiration today, and I'm happy to hear your questions next month. Happy to help you answer your girls' questions as well. And I can't wait to hear from you. I really feel this is important, an important space to have, so we can create better support systems, so we can create empowered journeys for our young people, so they can grow into confident and resilient people that know their voice, that know themselves, that know to access their personal power. So thank you very much, and I see you next month.